Yo, what's going on, y'all? It's Combo Breaker 99. I'm back with another quick video. All right, y'all, back with a quick discussion slash prediction video for Antonina Shevchenko versus Casey O'Neill. It's already after midnight now, so the fight is tonight. So I just wanted to come on here and talk about Antonina and Casey a little bit. I just got done looking at this Casey O'Neill interview, and she was just discussing Antonina Shevchenko as an opponent and what she plans to do in there. So I just want to get on here and do my prediction for this one because this is a major flyweight fight, for the unranked fighters. Casey O'Neill is one of these young prospects on the come up, and when you put together a good string of wins against unranked fighters, that's going to push you towards that top 15. I think Casey O'Neill right now, she has a lot of momentum behind her. She's had two solid wins. Shannon Dobson win, that was decent, but that Laura Procopio fight, I think that was definitely a step up for her. Because I did pick Laura Procopio in that fight. But Casey O'Neill, to me, she showed me something. She showed me something that not necessarily related to her technique and skill, but just her want and her hunger and that kill switch she has. And I think going into this fight with Anthony Shevchenko, that's dangerous, man, because I was just here listening to Casey O'Neill talking there in the interview, and she mentioned like what she has for Anthony Shevchenko. She mentioned the pressure, the pressure, the pace, the violence, the control, and the dominance. The dominance, that's something big, I'm always talking about. But yeah, that control is another thing that Casey O'Neill is carrying into this fight. And she also mentioned the fact that Anthony Shevchenko is basically like her. She's like her and all the other flyweights. There's nothing special about her. She's not like her sister. She's not a special fighter. So I was like, oh man, she's throwing shots. But I know that she's being real. She's being real though. Casey O'Neill is just being real, and this is what she needs. I know some people were asking the question, is this too soon for Casey O'Neill? Not at all. Not at all. It's not too soon, man. This is what she needs. Her third unranked fight should be a big fight that's going to introduce her to the top 15. That's kind of how the process I have as far as my matchmaking. I don't know if the UFC follows the same, but I think that whenever a fighter, that has a lot of hype behind them, has a lot of steam behind them, if they can score three solid wins, three dominant wins against unranked fighters, then they get the top 15. Kind of like with Manon. Manon beat Tabitha Ricci. She beat Victoria Leonardo. And if she beats Silva, then she gets that top 15, right? Same with how Miranda Maverick did. So I think the same for Casey O'Neill. So this fight's not too soon because Antonina Shevchenko is knocked down the rankings. You know what I mean? Like, she's been in there with some good names, and you've seen her come up short against the better names. So it's not too soon. This is what she needs. Casey O'Neill needs this type of level of a fighter that, it's not the name. It's not the name of Antonina Shevchenko, but it's the experience with her stand-up that she's bringing to the table here for Casey O'Neill. Casey O'Neill is in the UFC, so it's not too soon for this type of name. If you scratch the Shevchenko name, like she said, and just look at her as Antonina, it's time for her to take this name on. There's nothing to wait for now. You got to get this name. But yeah, Casey O'Neill, like I said, 2-0 in the UFC, finishing Dobson and Procopio. I also think she is part of that, upcoming flyweights, like Manon, Melissa, Miranda, ready to change up that flyweight division. Now, I know I don't have her in my triple threat, for good reason. But I think she is part of that crop of flyweights that's ready to take over. She's tough, she's strong, good chin. She took some big shots from Dobson and kept coming. Decent ground game, very good pressure on the ground. I think that if she can develop her hands throughout the years and, she can work a good jab, she's definitely going to be a problem. Takedowns, it's not a problem for her right now. She knows how to get them. She doesn't stop. She's always wanting it. And I think that's big. I know I've talked about her ground and pound, and other people have addressed her ground and pound, but let's actually talk about the fighters that succumb to her ground and pound. You know what I mean? We could talk about how bad the ground and pound is, but I think that says more about the fighters that succumb to it, like Dobson. I mean, we were talking about how the shots didn't look that hard, but hey, who succumbed to it? So it worked, right? I just think Casey O'Neill, the more I look at her, she does have a good chance of breaking into the top 15 as long as she improves. As long as she improves. Because right now, I will say she is more toughness than technical. She is more tough than she is technical. But I think she has the right idea about being dominant and never giving her opponent time to think. So going into this fight here with Antonina Shevchenko, I think for her to win this fight, she has to show that pressure and that pace that she's described and a level of control that she's always using. She can't treat Antonina Shevchenko special, and I know she's probably not. She says Antonina is just like all the other flyweights, so let's see her do that. You know, I think she has to keep the fight in close quarters against the fence, you know, fight in the clinch, you know, use those knees, use those elbows. Don't give Antonina any space. You know, push that pace, but be more technical than the last fight. You know, be more technical than the last fighter. And you can't run into a solid striker. You know, you just can't run into a solid striker like Antonina. You have to be more educated with it. You know, you gotta put that pressure on her, but at the same time come in at different angles. You know, you gotta be educated with it. So I think Casey O'Neill definitely has a good chance if she just improves on what she did against fighters like Procopio and Dobson. She could actually kind of do the same thing, but like I said, just add a little more spice to it, a little bit more technique to it. Because I know she has a chin. I know she can take the best shots from Shevchenko, but the thing is, you don't want to ever chance that. And if she does, you know, I think that her ability to close the distance after taking a big shot is good anyways. You know, she's going to smother you, and she knows how to recover. And one of the things she said in her interview is that, you know, she will push you till she's tired, or at least until her opponents are really exhausted. You know what I mean? So she feels like she has that gas tank. So I think disrespect and pushing Antonina to the limit is what she's going to have to do, just like all the other fighters did, like Caitlin Chikagan, Roxanne Modafferi, and Andrea Lee. So those are going to be her keys, you know, just to keep it in close quarters. And, of course, take it to the ground. You know, take this fight to the ground. Don't try to strike from the outside. You know, keep it close, press her, use that strength. And I think her ground game is going to be a big factor in this fight. You know, just putting that weight on Antonina Shevchenko and controlling that midsection and keeping her in the half guard and working, you know, activity. Stuff like that is really going to be big for her in this fight. As for Antonina Shevchenko, you know, coming off a tough loss to Andrea Lee, in which she controlled the fight, in which she was controlled on the feet and on the ground, kind of has me questioning where's her head right now in the game. You know, where is her head for real? You know, but I guess it's hard to say because, you know, it's hard to really say what a fighter is thinking, what's going on in that moment. You also have to factor in that Andrea Lee has been revamping herself and she has been stepping up her game. And yeah, that's just one of the things you also have to factor in with Andrea Lee. That, you know, Andrea Lee, I just think that she put everything together, and Shevchenko, she wasn't prepared for that. You look at Antonina Shevchenko's record; she's on that win-loss pattern. So if MMA math is right and it continues to go the same way, she should be due a win, right? She should be due a win, but she's really going to have to earn respect from Casey O'Neill in this fight, because I think Casey O'Neill right now has that dominance factor, like she said, and that control. You know, I think she's all about controlling the pace of a fight. And for Antonina Shevchenko, she's not really into controlling the pace of a fight. You know, she wants to be a counterpuncher, but other than that, she doesn't know how to take command fully of the center of the octagon. She showed that against the better fighters like Chikagan and Lee and Modafferi. You know, of course, against fighters like Ariane Lipski, she knew what to do. You know, take the fight to the ground because I know my ground game is better. You know, and who else did she fight? Jin Yu Kim. Is that Jin Yu Kim? She has a win over. So she's able to beat that lower level of fighter. And this is, you know, honestly, this is going to be the question: is Casey O'Neill that lower level fighter? Is she going to be amongst those fighters like, you know, the Chikagan and Modafferi and Lee that can dominate Antonina Shevchenko? So I think, man, for this fight here, Antonina Shevchenko, she's going to have to control this fight with her hands like she's never had before. You know, she's going to have to make this a stand-up fight. You know, she's going to have to use the long jab here. You know, she's going to have to use the long straight shots, and she's going to have to not look for the big shot to knock Casey O'Neill out early, but she's going to just have to set up the more calculated straight shots and, you know, put that pop on her and get the respect. She has to get the respect because Casey O'Neill, she walked through some big shots from Dobson. You know, she's going to keep coming. So I think she just has to establish those long straight strikes and leg kicks. Not too many body kicks, because that might leave her open for takedowns, you know, because if you try to go to that body and kick Casey O'Neill, I could see her grabbing those kicks and going straight for the takedown. So you kind of have to establish the leg kick like Valentina does, you know, 1-2, end it with a leg kick and just pick her apart from the outside and earn that respect. And that's one of the things she has to do. She's got to play matador. You know, she's got to turn, and move, create space, control the inside with tie clinches. If it goes to the fence, you know, you got to grab that head of Casey O'Neill, take her where she's never been before. You know, control that head, land those knees to the body early. Like she was able to do that against Andrea Lee a little bit in the first round. And those body shots were kind of bothering Andrea Lee. But Andrea Lee, what did she do? She hit that adjustment and she started using her judo. she started using her judo and was tossing Antonina Shevchenko around. So it's up to Antonina Shevchenko in this fight, to get the body work going early and be smart with it. Don't be predictable, but yeah, use that tie clinch on a fighter that likes to go on the inside, and I think she'll have success. Definitely has to be a fight where she avoids the ground. To me, avoid the ground at all costs, in my opinion, because Casey isn't the best grappler in the division, but she is improving, and she knows how to get top position and keep it, and she's very active. So those are just the keys to victory, I think, for Antonina Shevchenko. Keep it standing, avoid the ground, use the tie clinch, use straight shots, use leg kicks, no body kicks, and yeah, just keep the fight on the outside and angles. She can't be flat-footed and she can't stand still. So with that, this fight's a tough call, man. This fight's really tough. If I had to pick in this one, it's a tough call, real close. I'm gonna have to go with Casey O'Neill. I could see Casey O'Neill going in there and putting that pressure on Antonina Shevchenko early, and at least getting 2 solid rounds in this fight. I think that she has enough pressure and control, not just physically, but in her mind state, to want to go in there and be the boss and control the fight. She always wants to be in control, so I can see her going in there and going in there by any means necessary and taking it. Just going there and taking every round and every minute. It would just work. Some of the work might be sloppy. She might get caught a few shots here and there from Antonina, but if Antonina doesn't throw volume, Casey O'Neill's going to keep coming, because Casey O'Neill, she can throw hands too. She has a good jab. I know her ground and pound isn't the best, but she has a good jab as well. And if she can throw that jab straight up the middle, she can follow up with that rush and get Antonina to the cage and eventually get that takedown, where you'll probably see Shevchenko on her back a little bit, in the first couple rounds, until, I don't know, she might get finished again. She might get finished if you let Casey O'Neill, transition to a full mount and just unload. But I really don't see Antonina succumbing to that type of ground and pound. I could just see her getting outworked on the ground and just getting mauled by Casey O'Neill. That might be Casey O'Neill's plan, like she said, is push the pace, exhaust her opponents out, and be violent. And I think with all that talk and what we've seen in her past couple fights, if you put all that together, she could probably win this fight. She could probably win this fight. I mean, I wouldn't be surprised if Antonina caught her a couple of times, with her striking, but I don't know if she'll be able to just pick her apart. Because it's going to be hard for a striker like Antonina to just pick apart a very, very tough grappler and swarmer like Casey O'Neill, because she's going to have to do that for 3 rounds. You got to think of that. She's going to have to pick her apart for 3 rounds, and I don't know if she can do that. It might be similar to her fight like Roxanne again. And this fighter here is a lot younger and fresher and just, dangerous. She's going for the gusto. So if I had to pick, I'm going to go with Casey O'Neill by decision in this one. I wouldn't be surprised if she got the submission win over Antonina Shevchenko. I like to see Antonina win. I like to see her go in there and show some improvement. But all in all, I think it would be bigger if Casey O'Neill scored a win, because, that would add new blood to the flyweight division. This would be her 3rd unranked fight. And, yeah, I would like to see that too. But, yeah, I'm going to go with Casey O'Neill in this one, y'all. Let me know in the comment section what y'all think, by decision or submission, because I think that's just her style. Pressure, brawler, and very, very tough and mauling on the ground. So, yeah, I'm going to go with that, guys. Let me know in the comment section what y'all got. Combo Breaker 99. I'm out. Subscribe. Peace.